Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hayden Raven, and welcome to Ouroboros. Now, this has a strange name, but it has an awesome description. It's a noir tale narrative game, and I'm very excited about this because I haven't played a noir game since The Monster Inside, and that's been quite some time. And that one was really good. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me for what I believe to be a text-based noir adventure this evening. Black Seed City, a bastion of corruption and despair. I'd been busting my chops as a detective for a couple of years, moving in from a nicer part of my world. Maybe some part of me still felt like it could do some good to a city gone bad. Maybe I fit right in. A rainy night, I got the prostitution ring case dropped on my desk by a mysterious figure that quickly disappeared into the streets. I never saw them again. All I knew was that a rich industrialist was involved somehow. My curiosity got the better of me, and I started digging. If only I had known the hole that I was digging was my own grave. I started by visiting the dive bar. I needed to see Sid Fox. Black Seed City, the prostitution ring, police station, insane asylum, dive bar, the Gazette, City Hall, suspect a rich industrialist. So they said we needed to go to the dive bar, so let's go. A seedy underbelly, watering hole. Scum like Sam Steele peddled their dope from places like these. Search, talk, back. Let's talk first. Sid Fox. He was a low-life scum, a known dope dealer, but he knew the streets, and sometimes necessity makes strange bedfellows. Interesting, very cool. Ask about a rich industrialist. Me. I'm looking for information regarding the prostitution ring. Do you have something for me, Sid? Okay. I'm not at liberty to say. Strange things are going on, but off the record, you might want to check out the Black Seed Gazette. Okay then. Is that it? Back. Search. I searched all over, but found nothing. Okay then, leave. Leave the dive bar. Leave the watering hole. So he said the Gazette. The city's oldest and grandest rag, Pam Eckert, could have some answers. Pam Eckert? Search first this time. I searched the Black Seed Gazette from top to bottom. After almost giving up, my eye fell on a faded photograph. I saw a connection. I needed to see Officer Annabelle Lawson. I headed straight for the police station. Okay. Well, let's talk to Pam Eckert first. Always looking for the next scoop, but it always seemed to come to me she cared more about seeing her own name in the paper than catching the bad guys. Ask about rich industrialist. I caught Pam just as she was leaving the building, camera in hand, energetic as always. Evening, Pam. I'm looking for information regarding a rich industrialist. Do you know anything about that? Pam Eckert. A rich industrialist? No, but that sounds juicy. You got something to share? Sorry, Pam. I'll let you know if I do. When I had finished my sentence, she was already long out the door. Wow, talk about some seriousness. So I do believe he told us that we needed to go to the police station. And as we shall, Insane Asylum Police Station. Home to the bane of criminals and hard-working citizens alike, Officer Lawson usually mans the desk. I searched all over but found nothing. Okay then, talk to him. Annabelle Lawson was a good cop, one of the few. She was stern and didn't much enjoy my company, but she had a loose tongue if coaxed right. Ask about rich industrialist. Lawson looked up from her paperwork as I approached her, clearly agitated by my presence. Okay then. Well, aren't you just wonderful? Peachy. Officer Lawson, I'm looking for information about child abductors. I think it's related to corrupt politicians. Lawson glared at me. Something glimmered in her eyes. Was she nervous? She looked over her shoulder and leaned closer to me. Mayor Bruce Kane. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much for your help, officer. Me. That's when I realized this was never about a rich industrialist or any prostitution ring. The real case was always the child abductors. The connection to corrupt politicians was obvious. I just needed to find the evidence. I was back to square one, yet I felt like I was getting closer. I just never realized how deep it went. I love how this is told from, a future perspective. I love that. I didn't realize how deep this went. I needed to talk to Mayor Bruce Kane, and I went to City Hall. Finding the kidnappers. Did our objective just change? I'm sorry. Finding the kidnappers. Strange. The grotesquely luxurious building from where the corrupt politicians like Mayor Kane ruled the city. Search it. I searched all over but found nothing. Wow, the only thing we found was at the Gazette, I think. There's no reason for the searching, I guess. Talk. Always a winning smile and a fancy suit, the handsome mayor ruled from City Hall with pockets lined with tax dollars. Asked about corrupt politicians. The mayor was playing office golf as I entered his office. He briefly smiled at me, then went back to his game. Detective, what a pleasant surprise. Mayor, I'm working the child abductors. I have heard some things about corrupt politicians, and the trail led me here. You have anything to tell me? The mention of a child abductor startled him and made him miss his putt. After collecting himself, he turned to me. You know, as a friend, I needed to let you know you really are asking too many questions, but if you really want to know, talk to Dr. Craig. Woof. Okay then. Thank you, Mayor. You've been a lot of help. Ugh, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, even talking to a guy like that. Ugh, insane asylum. Okay then. Black Seed Asylum for the criminally insane. Maybe Dr. Wolf, a madhouse that had some clues. Search it. I searched all over but found nothing. Dr. Craig Wolf. His cold, calculating eyes followed his patients as they scurried around. To him, there were nothing short of guinea pigs and numbers on a paper. Ask about the corrupt politicians. The good doctor greeted me in the hallway. As soon as we started talking, a nurse came by with a medical chart, which he inspected. Frowning, he scribbled as we talked. Detective, how may I aid you today? There are rumors about corrupt politicians being involved in the child abductors. Anything you recognize? Child abductors? Corrupt politicians? No, I don't think so. Would that be all? I'm rather busy, as you can tell. Of course, Doctor. Good day. He waved one hand as we walked off, still engrossed in the chart. Weird. Very strange. It's a very strange predicament. Black Seed Asylum for the criminally insane. Search it. I don't think I'll find anything again. Okay. So now where? Where do I go now? I've been all over. Let me go back to the dive bar and see if there's anything there. Actually, let me go back to the police station. That seemed very strange. No, wait a second. Let me go back to City Hall. Because he sent me here and that was a dead end. His chair swung around. He slung up his feet on the mahogany desk. He threw me a smile as wide as his eyes were dead. Detective, always a pleasure. What can I do for you today? Mayor, I'm investigating the child abductors case. Do you know anything about that? He got off his feet and led me to the doors, still smiling. I'm afraid I can't help you, Detective. If there's anything else, please let me know. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a budget proposition to look over. Before I could answer him, he just shut the door. He's hiding something. He's definitely hiding something. Search the place. I searched all over but found nothing. Okay, so I definitely feel like I'm going to find something if I keep searching places. Back. Search it. Search the place. I searched the police station from top to bottom. After almost giving up, my eyes fell on a matchbox. Why a matchbox? I saw a connection. I needed to see Dr. Craig Wolf. I headed straight for the insane asylum. Okay then. Insane asylum. Talk. Ask about the corrupt politicians. Doctor, I know you're busy, so I'll be frank. Do you know anything about the King of England? The King of England? No, it doesn't ring a bell. I thanked him and we said our goodbyes, but after a few steps he stopped and turned around. Come to think of it, I did overhear an orderly hurriedly mention the King of England while on the phone yesterday. She lowered her voice as I walked by, but I can clearly recall it. Anything else you'd recall? Pam Eckert over at the Black Seed Gazette might be able to tell you more. Don't ask me why, I've already said too much. That was very helpful. Thank you, Doctor. Okay then. That's when I realized. This was never about corrupt politicians or any child abductors. The real case was always the pedophile ring. The connection to the King of England was obvious, I just needed to find the evidence. I was back to square one, yet I felt like I was getting closer. I just never realized how deep it went. I needed to talk to Pam Eckert. I went to the Black Seed Gazette. Now, just one thing about this game, let me make this clear. I read this, and it said that it was endless, but is it really endless? Is it really? I feel like I'm getting somewhere, but at the same time, it keeps saying, hey, you're back to square one. It's not about any of this crap that you think it is about, so we're going to play this for a little while longer and just see what this is about, because this is fun. Search the place. I searched all over, but found nothing. Okay then. Talk. Talk to the King of England. I waited for Pam in the lobby of the Gazette. She came running in just a few minutes later. Pam, you've got a minute? I'm looking for information about the King of England. Pam froze. What was she hiding? I'm not the person to ask. Sid Fox might be though. Sorry, I really have to rush. I've got a deadline. Sure, thanks for your help. Sid Fox at the dive bar, everyone. At the dive bar. Search it. I searched all over but found nothing. Okay. So I feel like each and every story only has one thing that you find when you search, and that takes you to the next story. That's very cool. It's very cool. Talk to Sid. Sid Fox, who's low-life scum, a known dope dealer. Da-da-da-da-da. What can you tell me about the King of England, Sid? I'm not one to say, Detective. Word on the street is Mayor Bruce Kane might know something about it, though. Mayor Bruce Kane, huh? I'll talk to them. Thanks, Sid. I'll talk to them. Anytime, Detective, anytime. Let me go back to my dope dealing. City Hall. Grotesquely luxurious, not consequently. I'm sorry, I can't speak. I always get jumbled and bumbled up in my own words and phrases and talkings and ramblings. I kicked open the mayor's office door. Wow. Kane! I know this is your doing. You're going to tell me what I want to know. Honey. Oh. You're having an episode. In 3 steps, I was at his desk and pulled him from his chair. No more tricks. I want to know everything. Tell me everything. I told Pam you weren't ready. I told her you're still sick. Sick? You know what's sick? This place, this town, these conspiracies. You're all against me, and you dare bring my family into this. I ought to just throw you out on your own window and be done with this whole thing. But we are your family. We just want you to be okay. We want you home. His office window was open. I pushed him towards the windowsill, him and his fancy suit halfway out the window. You're not my family. This is my home, and there's not a darn thing you can do to get me to leave. At that point, Lawson tackled me, throwing me off my feet. She held me down to the floor. I struggled to break free. She warned me she would use her stun gun. Dr. Wolf came running into the office, syringe in hand, with Lawson and Kane pinning me down. He administered his poison. The last thing I saw before passing out was all of them standing around me with worried expressions on their faces. What did they know? How was my family involved? I never did crack the Black Seed mystery, and I never saw the mayor, Sid, or Pam ever again. The never-ending circle of conspiracy continued. A prison of my own making, an Ouroboros of the mind. Black Seed City, the bastion of corruption and despair. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid we've come to the end of our time with Ouroboros, I believe. I'm not entirely sure what this game was about. It's kind of still just... It's in my mind, and I don't understand it quite yet, but I'm just trying to figure it out. This game was cool. I really liked it. I really liked the script. The script was amazing. I loved it. Oh, it made me feel so good about this. This was amazing. I loved it. I loved that it wasn't never ending, that there was a resolution, but it's strange. And I feel like if you continued more with this and you developed even more with it, there could be so much more for the player to discover. And maybe there is more, and I'm not just saying it because I haven't played it for a second time, or it's not scripted that way. But nonetheless, this is great. I love the writing style, and I love the voices that it creates in your head, because the voices are very characteristic of that of which they portray, and that's very cool, and that's what the game is supposed to do, and I love it. So ladies and gentlemen, I must bid you a good evening and a good night. I'll see you.